Hey guys! Today I would like to talk about the movie Babylon, the 2022 movie starring Brad Pitt, Margot Robbie, and Diego Calva. There are not going to be any spoilers in this video, so I really encourage you to give this movie a try if you haven't seen it yet. I knew about this movie coming out a few months prior to its theatrical release, as my husband is a huge Brad Pitt fan, so he knew this was coming out. We went to see it in December 2022 during the holidays, and we both really enjoyed it, only to come home and start reading all the negative feedback and opinions. This left us completely puzzled, and we did not really understand why it was getting such a bad reviews. That's why today, I would like to look at some of the factors why I think this movie had such a poor reception from the audience, and why I also think it underperformed during its release. The first reason was the wrong timing. It was released on December 23rd, 2022. It was only 1 week after the release of Avatar: Way of Water, which was a hugely anticipated movie. They also made a mistake of running this rated R movie during the holidays, where the majority of moviegoers are going to be families that want to go see the visual spectacle of Avatar on the big screen. Maybe a different release time would have been better for this movie to succeed. I can imagine it performing better during the summer, like Oppenheimer. The second reason was definitely the runtime and lack of promotion. The runtime for this movie is 3 hours and 9 minutes. I can't remember if I knew it was going to be this long, but it definitely didn't drag, at least not for me. Yes, the ending part was a bit slow, but I thought it was paced really well. Some people pointed out it wasn't heavily promoted, which might be true. I think we were shown the ad for it at some point, but it was only after we already watched the trailer, so it served more of a reminder that the movie is coming out rather than just trying to convince us to see it because we were already planning on doing it anyway. But yes, I have to agree. Considering it had two huge names attached to the project, I think it received very little attention before its release. The third and the main reason was, I think, the wrong expectations from the audience. I personally don't like old Hollywood movies. I don't like the sentiment, the look, and the plots. Usually, they make them boring, and to me, they're just not that relatable. I would personally not turn on a movie like Mank. It's just not my cup of tea. However, before we went to see it, my husband told me that it's kind of crazy wild movie. We love movies with fast pacing, always changing situations. Movies like Wolf of Wall Street, where it's crazy, over the top, super fast paced. And Babylon checked all those boxes for us. But I can only imagine how many movie snobs thought this was going to be a historically accurate snooze-fest depiction of the time period when Hollywood switched from silent movies to talkies, which it was, but at the same time it wasn't. After reading some reviews online, many people left the movie theater right after the opening scene. Yeah, no wonder, as the movie opens up with an elephant having an explosive diarrhea all over the camera within the first 5 minutes. I can imagine how many movie snobs just had a reality check and were absolutely appalled just by that scene alone. And there were many other outrageous scenes like that, but it's mostly in the beginning. I think that after the initial shock, the movie does get serious and sad, but I think some people just couldn't get over the parts that were intended to be shocking. I'm not saying the wild parties shown in the movie were happening in real life in the 20s, but let's also not pretend that Hollywood is a bunch of snobs who would never partake in debauchery like that. Diddy parties, hello? Hollywood is not just the Oscars, where everyone is on their best behavior and dressed in suits and gowns. Some people like to pretend that Hollywood is like that, and I think this movie took a giant elephant shit on that. That's why they were outraged enough to actually get up and leave the movie theater. I think the rating of the movie on IMDb has improved over time since its initial release, as more people gave it a chance and watched it. What probably also helped was that thanks to Barbie, more people probably got to know Margot Robbie and decided to explore her other less known work like Babylon, I think this movie is eventually going to end up being a cult classic. It will probably always be called underrated, and I definitely don't think it's deserving all the hate it's gotten. I really enjoyed it. It was a fun, wild ride with wonderful soundtrack, and if you haven't seen it yet, go ahead and give it a try. If you've seen it, drop a comment below and let me know what you think about Babylon. Until next time.